right, it is 6:13 right now. You know, February is Black History Month, and we are honoring our trailblazers in our area. Today, we're profiling Louis Morton. He lives in Sacramento now, and he's a pioneering journalist who integrated a news station in Seattle and then spent years reporting in Los Angeles, where at a time, there weren't many faces of color in the news industry. Here's his story.
And at the time, it was believed, and it was true, that there weren't enough people of color in broadcast journalism. And they selected 20 people out of 2,000 that they interviewed all over the country. And I was one of them.
And that's how Louis Morton got into the Columbia Graduate School of Journalism. He says as a young boy growing up in Brooklyn, New York, he always dreamed of informing the masses. And he got his big break at the news station King in Seattle back in 1969-1970.
And the man who owned it, he hired me because he wanted to integrate his station.
He was there for 2 years before making the jump to Los Angeles, reporting for NBC News Radio and KJLH, among other stations.
And so I became the City Hall reporter. I became the court reporter. And I also volunteered to become the reporter of the black community, because if I didn't do it, nobody else was going to do it.
But Louis says being one of the few minorities in the industry wasn't easy.
And people say things which are degrading to you, but they say them in a way that doesn't appear to them to be an insult. And I would say things in terms of a question, and he would kind of look at me and say, anybody else want anything to say? I'm a Brooklyn boy. I stood up and said, I believe you owe me an answer. I'm not leaving until I get it. Oh, one of those.
But he continued doing what he loved, telling the stories that impacted the community. And he says he never forgot the best lesson he learned as a journalist before graduating Columbia School of Journalism from Walter Cronkite himself. It's advice he says he wants to pass along to other journalists today that can help them report in these tense political times.
And he said, you're going to be a reporter? Never have a political party. And I never have.
All right, 6:15 right now. We want to celebrate our diverse NorCal culture by shining a light on African-American people serving your community. Go to ABC10.com and search Black History and let us know who you think deserves to have their story told right here on ABC 10.